Brenda Fassie, that's who she was. Brenda Fassie, that's who that was. A lovely, lovely African singer. And you know, it's amazing, I was in the bush of northwest Nigeria, and a CD of that was given to me by a Canberra woman. They live in mud huts, they live in compounds, they're really Stone Age conditions. But Sister Paulina there, who's the headmistress of our Newry school there that we've built with her people, she loves Brenda Fassie, and she gave me that CD to take, and that we saw a little bit of Brenda there. Isn't that a good story? Okay. Following on from the West Bank, it's an adventure-packed program this morning. You've got the West Bank, you've got Africa, and now you've got the Camino de Compostela. You guys are going to Santiago de Compostela, and I've got Michael McKevitt with me, I have Eamon O'Connor with me, and I've Conor Tinnelly here, father of the boys. Was your heart in your mouth, Conor, when you were letting them away to do all this?
Yes. In fact, the first year that Turlock wanted to go, we didn't let him.
Yeah.
It just didn't happen.
Yeah.
The West Bank, you know.
Well, yeah. He persevered.
Well, as he said, his mates went, regardless, without them. So they come back and we've seen the photographs and we'll talk to them. We're a wee bit more secure then once they all come back alive.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So the next year we'll let him go. So
but isn't that the thing of being a parent? You have to take the chance. You have to really hope for the best. But if you stifle them, a boat is safe in harbour, but it's not meant to be there.
No.
You know.
Well, you gotta let them go, and let them get on with them.
Yeah.
Thankfully they've come home. So but they enjoy it. It's great. I think it's fantastic. I'd love to have done it.
Yeah.
When I was 18.
Yeah.
It really is, and it's good work. Like they're getting something out of it.
Yeah.
And the kids is getting something out of it. You know, it's a winner, and they've been to Bethlehem to see all the sights. They've been down at the Dead Sea. They've been in Jerusalem.
Wow.
You know, they've been in all the tombs.
Yeah.
They've seen all that. It's great.
But it is actually.
It's a busman's holiday, maybe.
Well, it's so good. But look at the values those lads. I'm sorry we're bringing back to the lads briefly, but look at the value system those lads have.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, going for that month out there is one thing, but prior to that, they raised a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they're not just Turlock and Conor. I think 16 in total went.
Wow.
And they raised the quiz nights and music nights and different things.
But isn't this what education is about? You've taught them well at home. They've grown well at your knee. Then they go to the Abbey, and Dermot and the teaching staff of the Abbey teaches well and brings them on. They're surrounded by goodness, and it all grows.
I mean, the Abbey does Zambia, so maybe that influenced them.
Were you in Zambia at all, were they? They didn't get there.
No.
Which that's for another day. Yeah. They don't need the Abbey to take them to Zambia.
Go there next year.
Ring PJ Gormley of the SMA and say out at Drummondtine, PJ, we're coming to Zambia. Go there next year. See, PJ works with the street children there.
Right.
He used to be the director of Drummondine. He's a holy man, a father. He's a good lad. Yeah. Michael McKevitt, you're getting ready for the Camino, and Eamon and yourself, Conor, of course, you're going to Santiago de Compostela.
Yeah.
What's all that about?
I guess it started about myself and Mickey had been talking about it for a long time, and then I guess about a year and a half ago, I just said one day to Mickey, you know what, I'm going to go next September to next year. I'm going to go.
What weight are you?
What weight am I? I'm 11 stone.
11 stone's getting down to the right weight to do the Camino, because the whole thing about the Camino is you carry as little as you can in your rucksack, and also on your body.
That's right.
You know, you get rid of anything you can. Mickey, shall I ask you the same question? What weight are you?
Well, I'm over 11 stone.
Are you? Can the people see you there? Can you see Mickey?
They can make a judgment for themselves. I'm slightly over 11 stone.
But you'll need to prepare yourself a wee bit. Are you fit for it? You've always been a fit man. You windsurfed with us in Warren Point all those years ago. Then you played cricket. Out! How's that? And all that, you know. But I mean, you've kept yourself fit. But this is 25 kilometers. How many miles of the Camino are you doing?
We're doing the full distance, 800 kilometers.
Wow! In how long? A month?
In 28 days.
In 28 days. That's sort of 25, 26 miles. It's kilometers a day.
It's 28.
28 kilometers a day.
Yeah.
And then when you stop on Monday and rest Monday evening, then Tuesday morning you get up and you do another 28.
Yeah.
Then you rest Tuesday evening. You get up on Wednesday. You do another. This is a big undertaking, lads.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Have you been getting fit for it? What's the training regime been like?
We've been more or less just, well, myself and Mickey in particular would walk a lot together. So we've always been
hill walking.
We hill walk and walk. We live in Rostrevor, so we walk the Mourns.
Yeah.
And we've been doing that for a long time, and we've done the Mournway Marathon for the last 3 years.
How long is that?
It's a full marathon, so it's 26 miles.
26 miles.
So 42 kilometres. Yeah.
So how would you feel about doing one a day for 28 days?
Yeah, well, you know what, when you finish the marathon, you're tired.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like to think that would have to get up, and the next day you're tired, you know.
Yeah.
But it's not a full marathon we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, it's 3/4 of a marathon, so which is like a training distance for a marathon, if you know what I mean. So
of course.
I think we'll be okay.
But I think if you're walking in the hills, it's the up and down, boys, that helps, because I remember Brian O'Callaghan did it 10 years ago.
Well, yeah.
Brian did it, but he trained in the Mourns and walked in the hills, and it worked. I went and I covered it for the Democrat.
Yes.
I was out there at the time. It's a wonderful experience. Have you been to Santiago de Compostela before?
I have been there. I've been there for a week, just
Beautiful
in the
place.
town. It's a beautiful town.
Beautiful place,
town. It's just it's. I think it's a very spiritual place.
Oh, totally.
It is, you know, and it's not commercial, but it's very. Even for the likes of the young guys, you know, that they would love it, because it's a university town. It's got it's got nice restaurants,
lovely restaurants. I remember the restaurants. I remember 3 things. I remember the restaurants in Santiago de Compostela. I remember the cathedral.
Yes.
And I also remember the American woman who was kneeling down in front of me, having her confession heard by a priest. And there was a sign above the box that said English. And the priest was sitting out like that, looking out and blessing her. And she's kneeling, looking in. And boys, I can share this with you because we're beyond the watershed. She was an exceedingly shapely lady. And I thought to myself briefly, Rowan, this is God calling you back to confession in Santiago de Compostela, because the Bota Perfuma was going and the smoke was coming up, the bells, the smells, the prayers and the songs were there. And suddenly I see a beautiful woman. God has attracted my attention. Very well done, God. Well done. And the next thing I see the sign that says English. So she gets up and goes, and I get kneeling down. I says, Father, it's been 34 years since my last confession. Now I knew it was 34 years because the last time I'd gone to confession was the day before my wedding, 34 years previously. And he put his hand on my arm. He says, son, don't leave it as long till you come again. And I said, well, that chance would be a fine thing. And that'll make me about 92 if that happens, you know. So we laughed. But he gave me the, he said, and I couldn't remember any sins. I said, I suppose we could sum it up, Father, by saying, I've hated too much and loved too many. And that's how we'll, he said, that covers everything. He said, we leave it at that. And he gave me, and I got no penance. So I was telling the lads down at the SMA in Cork this story one Sunday evening, and Billy was there, one of the priests from Africa, and you could see him going redder and redder and redder as I told him. He said, I wouldn't have let you away as easily, he said. And as a matter of fact, he said, without a penance, that confession was theologically flawed. So I recommend a Santiago de Compostela confession.
Mickey has done the last part of the walk.
You've been there, Mickey.
Yeah.
What were your impressions of it?
I'm very impressed by it. It's a lovely place, and Eamon was saying it's a spiritual thing. When you're walking, when you're in, you're thinking all the time. You're on your own, and it brings a lot of things to the fore in your mind. But it was also a trip with my daughter. And it was a great experience to be away on that kind of journey with your eldest child.
Yeah. That's you either do it that way or you go alone.
Yeah.
Because sometimes a pilgrimage is best if you're alone.
Yeah.
But you three are going to be together. There'll be a camaraderie there.
There will be.
You'll bounce off each other all the way. There'll be a bit of a laugh. So the spirituality might slip a wee bit with the evening dram of wine or whatever with your food.
Well, I don't know if we should indulge in such things, especially when we're doing a marathon every day.
Have you given this serious consideration?
I have for all about 2 seconds.
Because you're passing through some of the finest Spanish wine areas and towns and whatever. And so the training you've done for it, that's all done and dusted now. You're a week away from it.
Yeah.
A week away from it, and you're going to have to you're still raising money, boys.
We are,
yeah.
Conor, you've been very quiet over there.
Yeah. Well,
what about the money raising? How are you doing it? How much have you got so far?
Well, I'm up to near £300.
If you're
£300.
£300.
Yeah.
I have just over 5.
500.
I'm slightly behind everyone with just about 100.
Mickey, I'll tell you this, Mickey. That doesn't concern me remotely because you were always best coming from behind.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
when the bell went
Mhm.
and you got a glimpse of the tape around the track, you would always go ahead.
Yeah.
You'd make your break.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
correct.
How much money have you got to raise for Hospice? Is there a finite figure?
No.
We never set
You're doing
ourselves a
it-
figure.
You're doing it independently of anybody.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we're paying all our own costs. It's
Yes,
not like that.
yeah,
But so
yeah.
every penny that we raise is
Will
going
go straight
to
into the
hospice.
hospice.
You know.
That's fantastic. Why? This is an obvious enough question, but everyone has their own story. Why Hospice?
I think it's one of those. I mean, there's plenty of charities, there's plenty of good causes, and they all deserve, you know. But the hospice, I think, is one of them things that everybody in this community, you know, unfortunately, at some stage in their time, have need of it, you know. And for me, I know that we've used it in our household, in our wider circle. It's just it encompasses everybody, really, you know. There's other charities that I'd like to contribute to, but I think just because the three of us go on, because of the area, and basically they're in dire need of money.
Yeah.
I mean, we've met the lady, Sarah Colgan, and they're about 300,000 short, you know, of their running costs.
Yeah.
So,
What about you, Eamon?
Yeah, well, they were in particular they were very good to an aunt of mine.
Yeah.
Braggy.
You're involved in health yourself, aren't you?
I am. I work in the healthcare industry. My wife is a physiotherapist and acupuncturist.
She's Sherry.
Sherry.
The iconic.
The iconic
Sherry
Sherry,
O'Connor.
Yes.
Yeah. In
And I-
Rostrevor.
in Rostrevor, and so I work along with her. So we see people coming in, and we know, you know, we do get people from time to time that are on their final journey, you know. So, and the hospice in particular, I think, has always been. It just provides a service. I think it's a service to be provided by government, but it's a very caring
Yeah,
service,
it
and
is, it
it is
is.
one that's extremely. It's one of those charities that it's always my. In fact, I'm doing a walk on this Saturday. Again, there's a group of us in Rostrevor. Mickey's involved as well. It's not the Sunday Run crowd, and we're actually we walk from Bloody Bridge to Rostrevor.
That's a fair wee walk.
over the tops of all the mountains. So
That's
we start
Bloody Bridge. You're down at Newcastle.
and Newcastle.
almost.
So we're actually walking up. We start off, go over Donard, over Berna, over Ott, Muckenmore,
You ever heard
Pigeon,
the like of
Eagle.
that in your life? Goodness gracious.
It's about a 22-mile walk, but it's about maybe
uphill and down dale.
it's about 3,000 meters of climbing is involved as
goodness.
well. So but we do that. This is our 4th year doing that walk, you know. And again, that's for the
You're
hospice.
great people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. What you do is important.
Well, we try to put something in the community.
Yeah,
give
but
back.
you were always I know you better than I know these two lads.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you're birds of a feather, really, and you were always a caring sort of fellow, and you
Yeah, well, as you say,
Yeah.
you get it from your family.
you do. It
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
comes through family. There's
Yeah.
no two ways about it. Great photograph of you in the paper last week. The
Yeah.
three of you walking away
Yeah.
from the camera, you know, and there was you're like on the Camino already.
Yeah, yeah.
Why, you know, St Brendan came to mind, and St
Yeah.
Columkill, and St Patrick, and I thought, there they are, the living personification of the Trinity of great Irish saints.
Yeah, I
There you
certainly
go.
model myself in St.
Do
Brandon.
you constantly do it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Mickey's a great sailor, so the brand would suit him
Wow.
particularly, you know.
Is it right? Our left for Gibraltar, St Brendan to the Albatross, he said.
That's
There you are.
Great quote.
So, boys, how did folk get you some money? How did they help you? Where did it bring the panniers of gold to you?
Well, we have. I mean, individually, they can give it if they know any of us. They can give us the money.
But say
individually.
that somebody watching now wants to send you some money. Is there a central place they can send it to?
I set up on Facebook. I have a Just Giving site set up.
Just Giving.
Yeah, so
On Facebook.
On Facebook, you can
Yeah.
go into that. You can go under my name, Eamon O'Connor. You
And
see it on Just
it'll-
Giving.
you
You
know,
can make a donation on
Make
that.
a donation with that.
Yeah.
Or you could get Conor Tinnelly, care of Warren Point Port.
Yeah, I'm handling the point side. I live in Warren Point, so
Yeah.
I'm taking care of the point.
Do you know something?
Boys,
I'm there myself in Warren Point.
Oh,
We're a blessed race, aren't we?
Yeah.
us blow-ins.
Oh, you're ever blowing. I'm
Yeah.
very blowing.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The bridge is a funny thing, isn't it? Mm.
Well, in our aspect in the harbour, you know, I'm like Michael. I do a bit of sailing.
Yeah.
You know, and I was looking forward to marina.
Aye, I was too.
So
I was as well.
you know, I wasn't anti-bridge.
No,
You know, certainly
no.
not. But as it turns out now, we've neither.
We've neither.
Neither.
You know,
yeah.
and that's
See, there's no
very
second
important.
plan.
there's no
There should have been. We're going for the bridge. Now the reporter has it today that your man Enda Kenny is going to come up with 7 million towards it. So maybe it's still on again.
Yeah.
But if it's not, there is never a second plan.
No.
We're going to have the bridge. If the bridge doesn't work out for any reason, we automatically press the Marina button and we get something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it'll be the world's greatest shame, boys, if it
Well,
does.
we had Enda Kenny, funny enough, in Rostrevor on Monday.
He was at the funeral.
At the funeral,
of dear
yeah.
Mary's.
Somebody must have tapped him on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know yourself, we've been led up the hill and down the hill on this one, and it's hard to know just where it's going to go. But we'll see what happens. Yeah. So they get you if they want to send you money. Is there a particular place?
Well, no, just have to source me out.
Source you the port.
They can go to the harbour.
Conor Tinnelly, the port 1 point.
They can go to security at 1 point.
Security, and that'll get to you. And Mickey, you?
Yeah, well,
Mickey McKevitt.
Mickey McKevitt, Carroll of Eamon District Council.
There you have it. Boys, I want to wish you good luck.
Yeah.
And it's lovely for you to come in and share your thoughts with me here this morning.
You're welcome.
Pleasure as always.
Oh, we've also got collection boxes in some of the shops and pubs in Rostrevor.
But those collections will need to be silent.
Yes.
We want a silent collection, ladies and gentlemen. That'll be the only thing. Very proud of you. Lovely to see you here. When you come back from can you tweet or twonk or what is that?
I'll be tweeting and
from
Facebook
the Camino.
Yeah, if you
want to Facebook us as well.
I'll tweet and Facebook you.
Are you a friend of mine?
No, but that can happen very easily.
Can we make that can we do that, please?
We can do that.
Because then we can communicate.
Yes, of course we
can.
There's
another thing. I was thinking this, boys. I just want to test you, and it's not testing, but I've been exercised this morning. I've been on Facebook talking about it. This story that 2 young women in Peru for drugs.
Yes.
And we have children. We're all fathers.
Yes. I have 2 daughters myself.
Now, here's my take on it. They're innocent at the moment. And they have to be proved guilty. They don't have to prove their innocence. Yeah. Peru has to prove them guilty. And the long and the short of it is, if they are guilty, they're 2 young women. 3 years ago they were 17. They're not hardened criminals.
Yeah.
No.
And if there is a price to be paid, if they're going to go down for this, the folly of their criminality, they're not the drug barons. No. And my contention is that they will, if they have a sentence to do, that sentence should be served maybe at home, in Scotland or in Northern Ireland, whatever. I think there's a sort of gentle and generous mercy involved in that. Yeah. And I'm not saying that if they were guilty, what they did was right. But I'm saying that we as a society ought to be big enough to differentiate between silly, stupid wee girls and the big drugs barons who run them. That would be my feeling, and that any sentence that the Foreign Office should be in discussions with London, or with the lawyers and all, with Peru, the Foreign Office talking to Peru, to if there is a bad outcome for them, that it's served here. Am I wrong on this?
No, I wouldn't say so.
No, that's
two naive girls who've been taken in by wily old foxes.
Yeah.
And unfortunately they're going to, but I agree, they should be able to serve their time at their own place.
Yeah. What about yourself?
Yeah, I agree. I think if they should serve their sentences here, because for them, if they serve a sentence in Peru, it would be much more difficult for them than a local person.
Absolutely.
Because 1, they don't have the language. 2, they would be regarded as a rich foreigner, and they'll be preyed upon. Yeah. So therefore, they should be just if they come here, whatever sentence they get, they should serve it, but they should serve it here. Yeah. And because it would be just. It almost for them, I think a jail sentence could be life threatening to them. Yeah. And I think they were just silly girls.
Yeah, Conor, what do you think?
Well, when you see them on the television, it was very obvious. They weren't. They didn't realise how bad the situation was. I mean, they're very jovial. What I seen on television.
Yeah.
They're sitting eating sandwiches and things, just totally over their head.
So will we take it, boys, as a kind of small personal crusade that we'll Facebook. We'll tweak and twalk and twicker or whatever it is. I don't do all of that. That will just make the point whenever we can. Yeah. Just to talk to our MPs about it. You know. Yeah. Because we really need to think. Nobody's asking that they get off if they've done it. Yeah. But your point is so good. You know, as foreign. Foreign Office, are you listening? Make the contact. And
there's also another girl there who's been under the radar. And it's only in recent times because of this blowing up. in recent times that
There is the
this girl has been highlighted,
yeah,
and she's been there for 3 or 4 years.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, boys, we'll keep that in our thoughts and prayers as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Because if we get a good positive dynamic going about it, then maybe some good will come at the end of the day. Sean, have we a piece of music now? What would you recommend to me?
Blondella by
Any Spanish?
Oh, we had Brenda Fasci previously there, the African one. No?
Mendes.
No? I thought we had Brenda Fasci there earlier.
Marianne Regrets.
Marianne Regrets is lovely because that's Burr Lives.
All right.
You know, we deserve a dollop of Burr Lives. Let's have it.
Yeah.
That's great.